Hello and welcome to my marble run tutorial for Unity. In this episode we will cover building a racetrack in ProBuilder, creating marbles, player creator, and leaderboard with a checkpoint system. You can download the source code from my GitHub, link in the description. Let's get started. Let's install ProBuilder, window, package manager, select Unity registry here and enable preview packages. This will be needed for ProGrids later. Search for ProBuilder and install. We will be using Bezier Curves, so we need to enable it, edit preferences ProBuilder and experimental features enabled. Don't worry if it takes some time for the checkbox to set. Go to window, tools, ProBuilder window. Dock it somewhere so that it's easy to use, and we can see new Bezier shape here, so it went okay. Install ProGrids. This is actually optional, you don't really need that, but it is quite useful. Okay, let's enable ProGrids, hit new Bezier shape, change the rows to 3 so that the curve looks like this. It will be easier for us to create a racetrack with only 3 rows. Use rotation handle on this curve point. Rotate also another point so that we have a flat track. Move the point a little bit. And we will be adding another point here. Move it again. Rotate it and move it a little down so that we create a slope for our marbles to roll down. Move it again. Add another point. Rotate the track and we will be creating a turn here soon. Another point. And we want the turn to be smooth, so we have these gray handles which we can use to manipulate the curve. I used it to make the curve more smooth in the crucial spots. Let's speed it up now as I create the entire track. Create another turn here, also use the gray handle to smooth the curve. And here the track will go upwards again to close the loop. The marbles will have to roll upwards here, so we will be adding a speed boost because the marbles wouldn't travel upwards by themselves because of gravity. Smooth the curve again. little dancing with the handles here. And we will be closing the loop here automatically. As you can see, the curve has a close loop checkbox here. Let's see how the track is looking. It's quite nice. Now we need to remove the sides because we don't need them, we only want the surface. So select face loop in the ProBuilder window, on the other side also. And now we can delete these faces because we don't need them. And select the entire surface using select face loop tool. Now duplicate the faces and flip normals. This is because we want the track to have two sides, up and down, like this. Now we will extrude faces along face normal. The track becomes a little thicker now. And we will be creating bounce. Select face ring on the inside as well. Select face ring and we will extrude that to create a base for the track bounce. Extrude. Now select the edges. Select face ring this time is what we need. On the other side as well, select face ring and extrude again so that we create bounce like this. The Bezier shape starts to look more like an actual racetrack. We need a little wall here because the marbles will travel upwards with a speed boost, so we need higher bounce because we don't want the marbles to fall off the track. So we used grow selection tool and extruded the faces a little bit more. And this is the shape of our track. Now we need to add a physics material to it because we don't want the marbles to lose much speed when rolling on this track. So we need a physics material to lower the frictions, both dynamic and static. You can play with these values, but I used 0.2 and 0.4. Now let's give our track some colors. We will use material editor from ProBuilder. For the surface of the track I want to use built-in ProBuilder checker material. You have to click this eye icon to see it. Select the checker. Now let's select with select face loop the surface of our track and hit the button next to the material. This looks fine. Let's color the sides of the track. Again using select face loop or select face ring. Now let's speed this up as I color the entire track. As you can see, my track is fairly simple for the purpose of this tutorial, but I hope that you can see you can create your own more complicated tracks with the methods I show here. Now let's create our marbles. We will use a simple sphere, and the best part of it is that we don't need to code anything for the movement of the marbles, because as in the real world, marbles will simply use gravity and physics, which Unity can simulate. So using gravity, the marbles will roll down, and the only thing we have to do is add some force to push them back up along the green slope that you saw just before. You have to create a material for your marble. Again, I used the checker material here. You can select the texture and change the color. I chose green for this marble. Rename your sphere. And for the marble to use the physics, we need a rigid body component as well as a sphere collider. Let's give it some mass. We don't want any drag, and a little bit of angular drag. Again, we use gravity. We don't set any constraints. We want this sphere to be completely free in terms of physics. And let's create a physics material for the marble, because we want low friction again, and probably a little bit of bounciness. You can play with these values yourself and see which results you like the most. Assign the physics material. You can drag the marble object from the scene, from hierarchy window to your project window, and this will create a prefab out of your marble so that you can use it for other marbles. Okay, now let's address the green slope here. Marbles can't travel upwards using physics only, so we need a speed boost. Here is the prefab. We need a box collider with is trigger option checked. Is trigger means that this collider doesn't actually collide with things. It will let things pass through, but it will detect the collision. So here's the script. It uses Unity function onTriggerStay, which detects a collider. As you can remember, our marbles have sphere collider component on it, so they will be detected here. And we get a rigid body component from the marble and apply a force. We add force along the boost direction, and we multiply it by force and set the force mode. These values can be set in the inspector, which you saw just a few moments ago. Here is the speed boost again. We can add another one here to give some more velocity to the marbles. Here's the speed boost direction. It points along the blue arrow, so we add force upwards. Now let's test it out in the game. Let's drag the marble prefab to the scene, place it on the track. And here is the camera preview. A little nice trick here. To change the camera orientation, just press Ctrl-Shift-F and it will set the camera angle that you set in the scene view. As we can see, the speed boost works just fine. And that's it for this video. You can add more marbles, give them different materials and enjoy them rolling. Remember, the source code can be downloaded from my GitHub, link in the description, and in the part 2 we will cover player creator, and we will create a checkpoint system with a leaderboard. Thanks for watching.